which rumors are not true.
Yeah.
Tommy is not a feeder at all. And I got permission to share like why certain photos were online.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Amberlynn Reid. The last time we talked about Amberlynn Reid, there was quite the hoopla that was going on regarding Amberlynn Reid's newest love interest, I guess, newest girlfriend. And in the whole situation, which we made a video about, but basically there was a lot of people who were claiming that Amberlynn's current girlfriend is actually a feeder. Now, people started believing this because there was definitely some solid information and evidence that a previous love interest and fiance of Amberlynn's current girlfriend actually passed away, and they were also a very large individual, and there was also some evidence shown of some very much so feeder activities that kind of happened. And so there was a huge outcry basically from the whole, I guess, Amberverse. A bunch of people from Girl World were making videos talking about how they're kind of genuinely afraid for Amberlynn to be in this relationship. And so basically that's what we talked about in the last video. But since then, there have been a lot of updates that have happened. The things that happened since those original videos were made was that Amberlynn actually stated that her and Tommy broke up. Now, a lot of people were they didn't really believe that that had happened.
I regret so badly ever sharing her. I know people are gonna watch this and just not give a f. They're just gonna roll their eyes and just not care. I feel like my words don't matter to a lot of people, or the way that I feel. They never have mattered. People watch me to just laugh at me and to hate me. And I'm realizing like people just want to ruin my life, and it worked.
And that seemed to have been the truth because Amberlynn actually did a series of live streams, which we'll be going over. But in one of those live streams, it came out that Amberlynn, she was talking to a friend of hers on speakerphone, and it came out that she was still with Tommy. And of course, a lot of people started freaking out about that. This first video is from that live stream where Amberlynn basically is confirming that she is still with Tommy and then sharing some information. So I figured we'd watch that part.
I am still with Tommy, and there's just been a lot of things that like aren't true that have been said, and I just want to be the one to like set it straight because I feel like that's important. And I know like a lot of people aren't gonna believe a word that I say, and that's fine.
So Amberlynn says that's fine, and I think that they're like, if you look at this from an eagle-eye perspective, if you've never been interested in this whole world, you might see this and be like, why does this person have to explain, or why wouldn't people believe them? But Amberlynn, as we've seen many times in the past, is okay with stretching the truth, I guess is the best way to put it. And there's just been so many times where the people that follow Amberlynn will find lies, right? Or things that are stretched or things that aren't really adding up. And again, with Tommy, that was another thing that happened, right? The claim to no longer be together. A friend basically confirmed that they were still together. And then now Amberlynn is coming out saying that we are still together, right? And so it's like, it's one of those things when someone cries wolf enough times, people stop believing them. And so here, I think a lot of people, regardless of what Amberlynn says, it's really hard to take the word for someone that over and over again, these things aren't being true, right? There's lies being told.
Like, I fully get it. People will believe what they want to believe.
So again, it's not just that they believe what they want to believe. It's over time, they have learned that a lot of times, Amberlynn, what you say isn't the truth, right? And so it's like, to get people to start believing what you're saying, you have to actually say the truth, right?
And I'm not going to lie to you. Like, we were going to break up. Without a doubt, that was going to happen. But it's like,
so again, it was going to happen, right? So it never did?
Genuinely make each other happy. So it's like, why break up when you genuinely like love someone? You need to stop worrying about what others think and do you. Live your life. Because the haters just want you miserable. Do what makes you happy, you grown woman. Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you have the option to do that. But again, no one is forcing you to do these live streams, going and sharing so much of this information about your life, right? So, like, when you continuously put so much information, and you're sharing your girlfriend, and you're continuously putting all this information out there, and you know how people are going to react, to be surprised that people react in a certain way, I think is kind of silly. Like, if you don't want people to continue talking about this, stop talking about it so much, right? Stop bringing it up. Stop. Like, but that drama, obviously, more clicks, gets more people to watch the videos. That's more revenue, right? So there is a positive to it as well.
I fully am in support of that. I'm going to do what I want. I genuinely am going to do what I want. But, like, I want to, like, shout it to the rooftops that, like, I genuinely am happy with Tommy. And the rumors are not true at all. And
so the rumors that she's talking about is obviously Tommy being a feeder, right?
Like, I don't know how else to, like, explain that. And I promise I'm not, like, in danger. That's not a thing. You guys know that, like, I have been trying to lose weight, and I actually have been. Like, I weighed my lowest that I've weighed in, like, 8 years. 467, folks. 467. Like, that's... I literally was like, okay.
I think that a big problem with this is that, yeah, you're at your lowest, but also, as history has shown, Amberlynn, when you get into a relationship, weight loss seems to stall. And so, like, you're adding the fact that this person has a previous relationship with someone that was super morbidly obese and then ended up passing away. Of course, people are going to have questions and are going to have something to say about that, right?
Like, pop off. Which rumors are not true. Yeah. Tommy is not a feeder at all. And I got permission to share, like, why certain photos were online. So
the photos that are in question are ones that very much so look like feeder activities, right? That's the best way that I can really explain it.
When Tommy was with her late fiance, they were long distance and they wanted to see each other more often. And to do so, they found a way to, like, make money. And it was never, like, out of, like, a, like, ill intent type of thing. And I know a lot of people are going to think that and still continue to assume that.
So, like, I mean, so basically, you know, they were doing feeder activities not because they wanted to, but because money was involved, right? And it was a means to an end. But, like, at the end of the day, just think with your brain, right? Like, there are, I don't even know how many other ways to earn money. And to choose that one out of every other way will look absolutely terrible. Like, and there's nothing that you can say to me that's not going to make me raise an eyebrow and, like, really? There no other means of making some extra money other than doing stuff that definitely looks like feeder activity, right?
And that's, I can't change anyone's opinion. I can only sit here and tell you the truth. That's all I can do. Like,
I mean, it's the truth that you want to believe, right? Like, of course you're going to want to believe that. It's just tough, man.
Like, it was just a way for them to make money. It wasn't something they did in their, like, alone time, like, if that makes sense.
So again, who knows, right? That's just taking Tommy's word for it. The next clip that we're going to be talking about is Amberlynn kind of talking about her stopping semaglutide and the reasoning behind that, and, you know, the people that have supported or maybe not supported that decision. And so let's see what she has to say about that.
I want to make this very clear. Even before I met Tommy, like, I was talking to my mom about quitting semaglutide because it wasn't working. I had literally doubled the dose like I was supposed to, and it was not working for me. And I was like...
So I'm curious what she means by was not working for me, because I am, obviously, I've talked about GLP-1s and semaglutide, and I'm not, you know, I am very much so in the middle. I think there are plenty of people that genuinely can get some genuine help out of it. And I think Amberlynn, honestly, in my mind, would sit in that category. And then there's a whole nother category of, you know, people that I think that maybe shouldn't be taking it. And, you know, it can be a little dangerous. But with Amberlynn Reid, like, I think if it's something that genuinely helps her to lose weight, I think that's something that she should continue to pursue. Because at the end of the day, that's what I really care about. And I think that that's what a lot of people care about. I think in the girl world, I think there's plenty of people that like to watch the the ride and the disaster that is unfolding. But I do think there are genuinely a good amount of people that were previous fans that eventually kind of got jaded, and now they kind of are watching that way, but they also have, in the back of their heads, or maybe even in the front of their minds, they wish that Amberlynn would lose weight because they feel like that would be the best thing for her. And so I think with GLP-1s, it is something that could be really, really beneficial, right? And so I'm not against her taking them at all.
This isn't working. And my mom's like, give it another week. So I was like, fuck, fine. And then I met...
It's just so interesting to... Like, if she's getting this stuff, I don't know how much she's paying for it, but I assume it's not to a point where it's like a financial burden. I don't know why she would stop, right? But again, I mean, this is Amberlynn Reid, right? Like, the queen of self-sabotage, and so that might just be what it is. But I don't know why she wouldn't continue doing this if it was something that is working. She's talking about she's the lowest weight that she's ever been. Why would you stop? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Tommy, we started talking. She even told me, just keep going. Sometimes you have times where it just doesn't work, because she actually knows someone who's also on it.
So again, very interesting, right? I think trying to bolster the argument that Tommy isn't a feeder, because Tommy was saying that she should stay on these GLP-1s, right?
And she was so supportive of me being on it. And she would constantly ask, like, how I was feeling and like this and that. Like, she was 100% supportive. And she's 100% supportive of me losing weight. She wants me healthy. She wants me mobile. She wants me happy. And she wants to have a life with me. She wants to go out and do things with me. Like, I mean, that says a lot, folks. I got to say.
Okay, I mean, she kind of goes off on a tangent talking and saying things in a British accent, but I think that's kind of the point, right? She's very much so trying to bolster this argument that Tommy really cares about her because she wants her to stay on GLP-1s, and why would someone that's a feeder want her to stay on GLP-1, right? So again, at the end of the day, I don't know exactly what is going on behind closed doors. I don't know what these conversations are, but again, it's like, this is obviously exactly what someone would say that wants everyone else to believe that this person has the best intentions and isn't trying to hurt them, and the relationship is kosher, for lack of a better term. Next thing I want to talk about is one of Amberlynn's close friends that people in the community know that they are friends, has kind of come out and said that she no longer wants to be friends with Amberlynn Reid because of the current situation and things that are going on. And so this is from their TikTok, right, Spidey Lex, and it goes on to say, I just want to publicly announce that I've ended my friendship with Amberlynn. If she wants to stay with Tommy, that's fine. I refuse to sit around and watch what will happen if she continues having a relationship with her. This was an extremely hard decision for me to make, but unfortunately, this is what's best for me, Amberlynn. I hope you understand, right? And so again, this is someone that is a friend of Amberlynn Reid, and if you look at the comments, right, go on a reaction channel, please. Honestly, I'm a hater, but I respect this decision. It's a hard choice, but one that's the right one. So this is someone that people know is a friend of Amberlynn Reid, and then they went on to share this text communication that they had with Amberlynn, where Amberlynn said to them, I'm not speaking to you till you publicly apologize to the both of us. You made this public when I wanted privacy, again, because it happened on a live stream where Amberlynn was talking to this person on speakerphone. That's all I ever wanted. You knew how bad both of our mental healths were, but you still chose to do this knowing exactly what would happen. It's defamation of our character, and that's a dangerous thing to do because blank is not abusive at all. But now everyone thinks she is. That's not okay, right? And then she responds, cool, that won't be happening. So you can just go ahead and block me. Stop being victim, Lynn. Takes two to tango. Again, this is why we had the conversation publicly, because you never take accountability for your actions. You're just always looking to blame someone else, and then blank can kiss my ass, right? And again, the comments, Alexis, everyone pretty much hated you at first, but honestly, like, you stood up to her abusive, delusional ass. She's insane and doesn't take accountability. Good for you for putting her in her place. The way she talks to you, Amber is very deluded, and I think it's probably best to cut her off. So again, there is a lot of support from this, and obviously, like, a lot of people know who this person is. The reason that I'm sharing that stuff is because this isn't some random person, right? This is someone that people in the community that are very much so entrenched in the whole Amberverse. They know who this person is. They honestly didn't like this person at first, but now that they're kind of coming out against and standing their ground, people are supportive. So I'm actually very curious to see where this all goes, because one thing that is pretty common with Amberlynn Reid is her previous relationships almost always end in flames, and almost all of them, the people that she has been with, kind of come out and say these really negative things about Amberlynn. And, you know, they kind of stand up and say, hey, all of these negative things happened. And so who knows? Like, I really am curious as to where this is going to go. But I'm genuinely curious, like, if you're someone that watches Amberlynn Reid's videos, and like, if you were to try and give Amberlynn some genuine advice, you know, like not trying to be mean, but like, if this was like a family member of yours or someone that was close to you and you really wanted to see them succeed, like, what would you say to them, right? Because I think a lot of times the advice people give is kind of coated with a little bit of meanness maybe. And so I think, like, if you were to try and genuinely have a sit down conversation and like actually change someone's mind, like, what would you say, right? At the end of the day, I think that obviously Amberlynn can do whatever she wants, but being a public figure, especially with how much she shares her online life and how much she kind of likes to share her online life and likes to have people talk about this stuff, as much as I think she'd disagree with that, I think she does enjoy it. You are going to deal with the consequences and the backlash when people disagree with what you're doing. And it seems like even someone that is close to Amberlynn, that was a friend to Amberlynn, is not a fan of this. And so I don't think that it's all kind of just people overreacting. I think that someone that is close to Amberlynn is uncomfortable with this situation, as well as, you know, the larger community is uncomfortable with this situation. So we will see where it goes. That's kind of where we're sitting at right now as I'm recording this. I'm sure there will be updates constantly, but that's just kind of the nature of the beast. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching the video. Let me know what you would say down in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.